Fibroids are back. Okay, coming from the fibroids video. Okay, Tiff, you're in the right place. You're in the right place. You're in the right place. Happy that you were able to join me live. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Okay, ladies, welcome. I'm streaming live from YouTube as well as TikTok, of course. All right. Hope everybody's doing great. Let me know. Put in the chat where you guys are watching from, and if you're watching from YouTube, also put in the comment section where you guys are watching from. I love to know where you guys are from. Okay, right now as I speak, I have clients from like 3 different countries, so I think that's so exciting. But I want to also know where my people that follow me, watch my lives, where you guys are from, or people that just stumbled upon this video. Okay, so today I want to talk about a really important topic. Why are your fibroids back? Okay. So if your fibroids grew back after surgery, if your fibroids returned after maybe you went on a natural healing journey or whatever, whether you had a UFE procedure, your fibroids are back from that, this is going to be a live for you, okay? Or if you have fibroids in general, listen to this live. You're going to learn a lot, okay? So hope everybody is great. Again, put in the chat where you guys are watching from. Would love to know. Welcome, Alabama. Okay, YouTube. Alabama. Okay, welcome, Denise. Welcome, welcome, welcome. All right, so share this live with somebody you know that has fibroids. I'm going to be providing a lot of insight during this live. And if you're watching from YouTube, TikTok, tap on that screen, like the live. Let's get the likes up. For those that are watching me for the first time, hi, welcome. Okay, my name is Sasha. I'm a holistic womb specialist. And what I do is I help women who have fibroids and other reproductive health issues like endometriosis, ovarian cysts, even fertility issues, get to the root cause of these issues, okay? Address these issues from the roots, from the source, in order to fully heal from these issues. I've helped hundreds of women over the years not only shrink their fibroids, but eliminate their fibroids, okay? Including myself, okay? So I love what I do. It's all about I put the power back into women's hands when it comes to their health and their healing, okay? And help women become their own first healer. Because guess what? You gotta be your own doctor first and foremost. Nobody knows your body like you. I put the power back into women's hands because we've lost that power, when it comes to our womb health, when it comes to being one with our bodies and understanding our bodies and what it needs to thrive. We've lost that power. We've put that power in a lot of, for these physicians' hands. And we've seen the results of that. We've seen what that's done to what that's done to women's health as a whole. Women's health especially women's womb health right now is in the toilet. But, a lot of women are suffering from fibroids, from endometriosis, from, ovarian cysts, from heavy bleeding, right? So it's so important to, again, put the power back into your hands to understand and know where these issues come from. Not just look for quick fixes. No, we gotta know where these issues come from, okay? So we're gonna talk about it today. And put in the chat, if your fibroids grew back, let me know in the chat, okay? Welcome everybody, YouTube. If you're watching from YouTube, be sure to click that like button, click that thumbs up button so the algorithm can push this out to more women, all right? Same thing, if you're watching from TikTok, tap on that screen, let's get the likes up. So I put in the chat, you could just put a 1 in the chat if your fibroids have grown back after maybe you had surgery, whether you have, she said like button. Well, tap, hold on. Okay. Okay, so tap on the screen. That's what I meant, okay? I don't know why that's funny. Anyway, let's keep going. Anyway, so why you regrew your fibroids? Why are your fibroids back? So be sure to let me know in the chat. Put a 1 in the chat if your fibroids are back after you had surgery, after you have UFE procedure, or maybe you've been trying to shrink your fibroids on your own and you haven't seen results. Put a 1 in the chat if that is you, okay? Because here's the thing. Fibroids do come back when the root causes are not fully addressed, okay? So this is why it's so important to really, when you're on a journey to heal your womb, you cannot just do surface level healing. Women will see after surface level healing, they're not able to really see true success or lasting results, right? So you really have to go deeper than just the surface level. It's not about just a bunch of remedies. No, it's about you actually getting to the root cause of the problem. Had a UFE procedure last year. Okay, so how did that turn out? And I talked about one of my followers that had a UFE procedure actually 2 years ago. And she just recently had a myomectomy, which I don't know why, but now she's like, okay, I don't want these fibroids to grow back. And, but after having and I'm not trying to scare anybody, but after having a UFE procedure, when they did the procedure on her, she had 6 fibroids. 2 years later, she had 10 more fibroids. So she grew 10 more fibroids in 2 years. So she went from having 6 fibroids to 16. So what happened is they shrunk a little bit after the UFE procedure, but then they grew back and they multiplied. That's what happens when we don't get to the root cause of the problem. That's what happens when we don't address the root cause of the problem. Okay, so you guys have to, like I said, we have to get out of it. I know that these procedures can seem tempting. The doctors tell you to have these procedures. We have to get out of wanting temporary results and actually seek healing and do the work. When we have fibroids, what is that saying? What is that saying about your body? That is saying that your body's out of balance. Your hormones are out of balance. Our detoxification channels are backed up, right? That is saying that our body's not functioning healthily like it's supposed to be. So we have to get to the root cause of the problem and repair the problem. We cannot just do a procedure or cut ourselves open and think that that's going to solve the problem, because it's not. And you guys see that these fibroids just keep growing back after all these procedures, okay? So let's talk about it. Why your fibroids, can return after surgery, after all the herbs, after all the castor oils and all these previous healing attempts. Why can fibroids still return? Okay, it's really important for you to know this, because you don't want to go through making drastic decisions about your womb, about your fibroids, just to unfortunately have the fibroids grow back. Nobody wants to go through that. Nobody wants to go through that, or have your healing attempts fail. Nobody wants to go through that. And that's a fear for some women, to the point where they don't even start because they're afraid of failing. But you don't fail when you actually hit it the right way the first time. You don't fail when you actually understand how the body works, right? So there's that. So, okay. So you had surgery, they grew back. A lot of times women, after having the surgery, this happens majority of the time, because doctors don't tell you that your lifestyle contributed to your fibroids. Women, after having the surgery, are going back to their old lifestyle. They're going back to their old habits, right? And let me know in the chat, has that happened to you? Has that happened to you, where you've gone back to your old habits? You've gone back after having your surgery, after having, the fibroids removed, or after having, have the UFE procedure, or any of these procedures. Have you gone back to your old lifestyle, right? So you've gone back to your old lifestyle, and the underlying causes were never addressed, right? And this happens a lot of times when women have these myomectomies, when women have these UFE procedures, right? Or even when they're trying the natural remedies, the underlying causes of why the fibroids developed are never addressed. So that's really important as well. So the underlying you're on the waiting list. Okay. Well, yes. Thank you. So you're on the waiting list for, I'm assuming, a procedure. And I'm just going to say this. Of course, I'm not going to try to talk you out of anything that you've chosen to do. But I will say this, though. If you don't get to the root cause of the problem, the fibroids will grow right back. And it's not worth it to go through these procedures, get sliced open, been there, just for you not addressing the root cause, right? Just for the fibroids to grow back. There's women that's had multiple procedures. And you know what? And I told the person did approve me sharing this, and I also was going to put her message on my stories, which I will do, because she approved it. She said she wants more women to know this. Somebody that's followed me for years, one of her good friends, this happened in Minnesota, has just passed away from having a myomectomy. Okay, and I know that. Listen, this happened in Minnesota. I know that people will hear that and think that can't happen to them, but let me just tell you that a myomectomy is a very invasive surgery. It's a very invasive surgery. And I'm not saying that it's going to happen to everybody that has a myomectomy, but I am saying that just shows you, this happened like in this country, in the US, which is so sad. And she herself feels guilty of, why didn't I talk her out of the surgery? Why didn't I? And the woman wanted to have a surgery so she can have a baby, because her fibroids were causing her to be infertile, unfortunately, which happens when, a lot of times, depending on the location of the fibroid. So I'm not saying this is going to happen to everybody. And she went home from surgery, everything was fine, and all of a sudden, I don't know the full details, but I know that she actually went home from surgery and then ended up passing away. Okay, so that's very sad. And there's another woman. I actually have a friend whose best friend years ago passed away from also having fibroid surgery. And then I have somebody else that follows me on here. Her sister passed away. So these things, this happens in this country, and of course in other countries it's even more. So I want you guys, before, a lot of us, and this is when I wasn't told as well that how serious having a myomectomy was. I wasn't told that. I was told that, oh, it's overnight surgery. You'll be out of here by tomorrow. Everything will be fine. That's how they try to sell it to you. But that's not the truth. It's a very invasive surgery. It's a very painful surgery. Like, I couldn't walk for days after having it, okay? And then I ended up growing back fibroids right after having a myomectomy. I have my whole fibroids story on YouTube, by the way, okay? I ended up growing fibroids, right? And that's when I went on a journey to heal the fibroids myself, okay? I studied under herbalists. I, hugely started reading, researching, because I said, there's no way I'm gonna get cut open again. There's no way I'm gonna get cut open again. Okay, so there's no need to be scared. But here's the thing. What you wanna do is that you actually, hold on. Somebody asked about hysterectomy. There's no need to be scared, right? But what we wanna do is that we do want to, there's women that have watched my videos, watched my lives, and have just canceled their surgery or signed up to work with me and canceled their surgery. I'm not telling anybody what to do, but what I am saying is that they grow right back. There's no point of getting cut open. You're not solving the problem. I honestly would tell women, don't do it. And women that have told not to do it, especially within the last few years since I've been doing this work, almost always they've come to me a few months later and said they grew back or they're back a few months later after having the surgery. So you guys make your own decisions, but it doesn't make any sense why you're having surgery knowing that they will grow back if you don't get to the root cause of the problem. When you have fibroids, it's not the fibroid that's really ultimately you need to look at. You need to look at the underlying causes of what's creating that fibroid, okay? What's creating that fibroid, okay? That's important. Okay, so another thing too, why your fibroids came back is that you never healed emotionally, you never healed energetically, right? You never understood that fibroids is not just physical, it's also energetic. Stagnation and energetic and emotional trauma that we're holding on to in the womb, right? So the womb on an energetic level is a source of creativity, is a source of your femininity, your womanhood. So when it's a source of balance and flow. So when we're having womb issues, that blocks creativity as well. That blocks us off from not just it doesn't just affect your health, it also affects your energy as well, you energetically. So a lot of women that have fibroids, they also notice that their womb issues also reflect back into their life. For example, women that are dealing with heavy bleeding, dealing with fibroids, they dealing with that internal stagnation. They will also see that stagnation happen in their real life, right? The things that they want to achieve, it seems like they feel stuck in life somehow, some way. It could be in their career, it could be in their relationships, it could be in many different ways, right? They feel trapped, they feel stuck. They're not able to create and manifest the life that they actually want, right? So when you're dealing with fibroids, you're also dealing with internal stagnation, the body, the blood, the lymphatic system, things are not flowing like how they're supposed to, right? And you're dealing with lots of internal waste. So that also translates into your life as well. Because if you tell me the health of your womb, I will be able to tell you what's going on in your life as far as what issues that you're having in your life, right? Because again, I've done this work myself. I've also helped clients through it. When you have womb issues, that translates into your life as well. The health of your womb will also impact the health of your life as well, okay? So look at your life and look at how that reflects out. If you're dealing with heavy bleeding, you're also going to more than likely be dealing with lots of anxiety. You're also going to be keeping a lot of your emotions trapped in your body, right? You're also going to, again, deal with a lot of overwhelm and stress. Like what you're dealing with in your womb, you're also going to be dealing with that in your life. It translates into your life, right? And that's where we go deep with really energetic and emotional healing as well. This has to be done. We have to bridge both the energetic part as well as the physical healing when we talk about fibroids, when we talk about these womb issues, okay? Because if your body cannot heal in a state of stress, if you're holding on to trauma, understand and know that every issue, especially womb issue, has a spiritual root cause, okay? That's really important for you to know, okay? YouTube, you there? YouTube, y'all quiet. You there? So that's important. So if you never address this part, that is why your fibroids are back. If you've never addressed the emotional and energetic trauma that you're holding on to, and you've just focused on the physical, and you haven't tuned in, and you haven't, like I said, been able to really have a deeper connection with your body, if you haven't been able to have a deeper connection with your womb, if you still see your womb as horrible, as bad, as against you, as, oh, I want to have a hysterectomy, that's why we're dealing with the issues that we're dealing with, right? So that's important. Nelly, yeah, I don't know if you're new here. Yes, okay. I have my whole fibroid story on YouTube for those that want to hear my whole story. I just said earlier I was talking about a little bit of my story, but I have my whole story on YouTube in case you're interested. So if you want to hear the whole fibroid story, make sure that you subscribe to my YouTube channel. It's about an hour, almost an hour long video. Okay, no problem, okay. I just don't want to veer too much off topic. I have that whole video on my YouTube channel. Just click the link in my bio. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. If you're watching from TikTok, subscribe to my YouTube channel because I've been saying I don't know how long I'll be on TikTok. Okay, I've already YouTube is really where I want to focus more so on. Okay, now, all right, now, what are the top reasons that fibroids return after you have surgery, after you do the UFE procedure, after your healing attempts have failed? What are the top reasons? No foundational protocol. What do I mean by that? If you have fibroids, your hormones are also out of balance. If you have fibroids, again, like I mentioned, there's also a lot of energetic trauma that we're holding up in the womb space. Also as well, if you have fibroids, we're also dealing with a backed up lymphatic system. We're dealing with a backed up digestive system. Our detoxification channels are backed up. Our body's out of balance. Our body's in a state of stress if you have fibroids. So when you're doing these procedures, you're not regulating your hormones. You know that, right? This is why you're not addressing your estrogen dominance. You're not addressing your cortisol levels. You're not addressing your insulin. You're not addressing any of that, right? You're not healing the gut, the liver, the kidneys. These things need support when you have fibroids. This is why those fibroids grow right back. They return because you did not do the foundational work, okay? That's very important. If you don't heal your hormones, your body's still out of balance. And what's going to happen is that you'll either get the fibroids again or you'll get another womb issue, right? So some women have had the surgery and the fibroids didn't come back, but they all of a sudden develop endometriosis. Okay, I have a client that's a nurse and she's saying that part of the reason why she's working with me because she sees women that have these womb issues, then have a hysterectomy, they get cancer just a couple years later because they did not get to the root cause of the problem. And like I always say, fibroids are a precursor to more serious health issues. It is. From the heart to estrogen dominant, cancers, which are, because estrogen dominance is the root cause. So when we don't heal that, when we don't heal from that, when we don't balance these hormones, again, other reproductive health issues and other health issues can occur. Not saying that's going to happen for sure, but the risk is higher, right? So this is why when we're getting rid of fibroids and doing the foundational work, we're also healing our entire body, right? We're also prolonging our health. We're also improving, our health on all facets, whether it's emotionally, energetically, and physically, because everything's connected. In case you guys don't know, everything is connected, right? Your spiritual, energetic health is connected to your physical health. Okay, some of you guys probably already know that. So if you're not healing your hormones, if you're not working on your hormonal health, and your hormones affect all of your bodily functions. If your hormones are out of balance, you as a woman, you're out of balance. Your hormones even affect your brain activity. They affect your heart, your estrogen, progesterone, right? As far as other hormones in your body as well. So when you leave yourself to be hormonally imbalanced, which you guys do when you have these surgeries and you don't get to the root cause of the problem, then our body is still in trouble. And this is why you develop the fibroids quickly again. Some women develop fibroids within months of having surgery. There was a woman that she either commented on one of my videos or she was on my live. I forget which, or she commented on one of my TikTok videos. And she said that she had surgery in July of last year and October of last year. 2 surgeries in 1 year within 4 months of each other. That is crazy. Y'all gotta stop having these surgeries. Y'all gotta stop having these surgeries. How quickly did you find? So Nelly, go watch the video. Go watch the video, okay? Go watch the video. So I want to stay on topic. So it's important. And the video that I'm referring to is my whole fibroid story. It's an hour long, almost an hour long, 40 something minute video. That's why for all the questions pertaining to my journey. How about I want you to ask the questions of, and I want people to ask more so about I was able to get rid of my fibroids years ago, over a decade ago. I want you guys to ask more questions about my clients that I'm helping currently. Okay, so in case for those, the new ladies, the newbies, I've also helped hundreds of women shrink and dissolve their fibroids, get rid of endometriosis, adenomyosis, get pregnant naturally after years of infertility, and so much more. Okay, so that's important. Okay, that's important as well. So also too, unprocessed emotional trauma. When you are holding on to heartbreaks, when you're holding on to reproductive trauma, right? You know, operating under fear and anxiety of never being able to get pregnant and these things, or, you know, you're carrying mother wounds, right? Or there's a chronic suppression of your emotions, which a lot of women have. That stuff gets stored in the womb space on an energetic level. That stuff gets stored in the womb on an energetic level. That's one thing you have to know. So when you're not actually, and here's the thing, we've all been through stuff. We all have trauma. It's not about what you've been through. It's about how you handle it, whether you are actually holding on to it or whether you've processed through it and released it. And a lot of women, unfortunately, hold on to their trauma, suppress it, right? And you have to understand that when you hold on to stuff, it's a lot of times when you suppress stuff, it's still there. The body keeps score, okay? The body keeps score. So when you hold on to these traumas, it's still there. When you don't process through it, when you don't handle, like when you don't release it, it's still there. So they fester into these. Just imagine these fibroids also representing heartbreaks and the things that you have not gotten over, pain and grief and loss, and these are like childhood trauma, rejection, abandonment, all these things that you have not healed from, whatever your wounds are, right? That you suppressed. And a lot of times women that have fibroids, they've suppressed for so long just to continue to move it through life. And a lot of times your brain will try to suppress to kind of keep you in motion and continue to function. However, right, we have to do our part in actually processing through it and releasing it so it doesn't just stay with us. It doesn't just fester into more serious health issues, okay? And I know that can be the hard part, but that's what I also help my clients through, because it's important that you bridge the physical healing and the energetic healing as well. And as my clients are able to heal energetically and physically, they don't just feel a lightness physically as they're on their healing journeys, they also feel energetically lighter and just more fulfilled and happier. And they're able to magnetize their desires, more abundance, more opportunities in their life easier without that stagnation and without feeling blocked, okay? Because if you have blockages in the womb, you're gonna feel blocked in life in somehow, some way. And it's gonna play out differently from a majority of people, but just look at your life. Your womb is a reflection of your life, okay? Of your womanhood, of how you handle your femininity, all right? I know that society will tell you that the womb is valueless. It means nothing unless you're pregnant. That's not true. That's what doctors like to say. That's not true. That's not true. And women back in the day, they knew how powerful the womb is physically and energetically. It's just that we've lost that, especially in this country, right? Women have been trained to in a way of not only their bodies are valueless, but their wombs are valueless. And that's why women are running to get hysterectomies. Not understanding that, listen, if you have issues with the womb, you got issues with the body. That's a full body issue. So if you're running to get hysterectomy due to fibroids, you still have what caused those fibroids in your body. So this is why women get cancers after having hysterectomies very soon after. It doesn't make any sense. You throw your body way out of balance. You get all these hormonal issues, right? Emotional issues. So taking out a vital organ, you shouldn't want to even take out your organs. You should heal your organs. That's very important, okay? So another reason why fibroids return, thank you so much for the likes. Thank you. And make sure that you also thumbs up on YouTube as well, okay? Click the like button as well on TikTok. Now, another top reason why women are growing their fibroids back, right? Because there is a lack of deep, consistent womb healing that includes detoxification. And I'm not saying go on a detox. I'm saying no. Your body should be detoxifying itself daily. Especially when you have fibroids, your body's in a state of stress. Your body's not expelling waste the way it's supposed to in toxins, and you have a lot of waste and toxins in the body, right? That's why a lot of you guys will have what is called the fibroid belly, that inflammation, right? You know, this is why a lot of you guys have multiple fibroids. That's toxicity in the body, okay? So you want to be, your womb healing journey should include deep daily detoxification, and also emotional recalibration as well, right? You recalibrating your emotions, the things that you're holding on to emotionally as well, energetically as well, right? We have to start healing those things. We have to start bringing those things up to the surface and releasing them, right? We can't continue. And I help my clients through the process because I know that it can be scary to bring certain things that you've been dealing with up, right? Especially if you've dealt with a lot of trauma in your life, right? Which I completely understand that, okay? So, because as somebody that's been through a lot of trauma, I had to do the healing work myself, and it's been so freeing. It's been so freeing to not carry these things around that I've been through. And I want more and more women to be able to experience that. I've had my clients experience that and have seen just the improvement in their lives and the happiness and just how much things flow to them. There was a client, and I sent this, and if you're on my email list, and first of all, if you're on my email list, hop on my email list if you're not on my email list, right? Because when you get on the email list, there is you get a 7-day fibroid truth series, right? That you'll get every day for 7 days. And that's going to teach you deeper insights about fibroids. And if you want to know deeper womb truths and insights, subscribe to my Substack, my Sacred Womb Letters as well. I have the link is in my bio if you're watching from TikTok. The link is in my description box if you're watching from YouTube, okay? So, when it comes to healing your womb, it's not just you just getting rid of a couple fibroids. No, it's a spiritual, physical, okay, and energetic level up. It is you leveling up emotionally, spiritually, and physically, right? Because our body is in a state of stress, is in a state of inflammation when we have fibroids, when we have endometriosis, when we have adenomyosis, when we're dealing with heavy bleeding, right? Your body is minerally deficient. There's a lack of women that have fibroids. They have neglected their health for a very long time. And because of the way of the world is, we've gotten far away from health. And a lot of women don't even know what health is, right? They think that just going to the gym and eating vegetables every now and then is healthy. No, right? Your health is not just physical, your self-care and healing your body and nourishing yourself is physical, it's energetic, it's emotional, it's spiritual, it's deeper than just going to the gym. Please go to the gym, please eat healthy, but is your diet getting your body out of a state of stress? Is your lifestyle getting your body out of a state of stress? Majority of the time, if you have fibroids, it's not. It's not. Your body is a reflection of your habits. Your health is a reflection of your habits and how you're living your life, right? And your thoughts and what you believe in. It's all a reflection of that. That means it's all a reflection of that. That means you have more control than you think, okay? So fibroids don't just grow back because you're unlucky. And let me know if you're on your womb healing journey, let me know in the chat whether you're on YouTube or whether you're on TikTok, okay? They don't just grow back because you're unlucky. They don't just grow back because you're just prone to have fibroids, right? Or because your womb is broken. No. They grow back for a reason, and you have to start seeing your fibroids as symptoms and not the main problem. The main problem is what's caused the fibroids to occur. That's the main problem, right? Fibroids return because the foundation was never addressed. The root causes were never addressed. They were never fixed. They were never adhered to. That's why fibroids return, right? So that's why they return after surgery. They return after, these fibroid procedures. This is why they return. When you go back to your old lifestyle, they return, okay? So, and a lot of women fear that, and I know that and everybody, your fear is valid, right? A lot of women have this fear of when they start addressing their fibroids, when they start going on their womb healing journey, they're gonna have to change so much. And it's actually a beautiful journey because a lot of times, even though we hate our comfort zones and we're miserable in our comfort zones, we're afraid to evolve and we're afraid to get out of that, right? And I get it, I was there, but the same woman that you are with the fibroids, I'm telling you, you're called to be better. You're called to be not just healthier and fibroid free and not have these, because a lot of times when you have fibroids, you're scared to leave the house on your period because you're bleeding so much. You start to create a life around fibroids, right? Oh, you know you're gonna have pain and heavy bleeding this month, this time of the month, so you can't do all of these things. You can't go on vacation. You can't do this. You can't do that, right? You gotta stay in the house. You have to stay, or you know you have to carry all of these huge pads with you and tampons when you go out and you have a period. You have to wear dark colors. Like you start to, like I said, the fibroids start to control your life. That's not freedom. That's not free. That's not happiness. And I was there. That's not freedom and that's not happiness. So just be wary of that, right? Be wary. So when women are able to finally, I've had women cry to me because as they were getting rid of their fibroids and being able to have a periods now, you know, menstrual cycles now, where they're no longer, you know, tied to their house. That they can actually, I had some clients that went from 16-day periods and their periods were so bad that they were literally not just housebound, but a couple of days on their period, they were bedbound. It was so painful, right? And the bleeding was so much, right? So it's important, it's so important, like I said, when you heal your womb, it's also freedom. You're healing, not just you're healing your body, you're also freeing yourself for these shackles that fibroids can provide at times, okay? You deserve a life better than being shackled with fibroids, especially knowing that you can control that, okay? So another thing too is emotional stagnation causes physical stagnation. When you're holding on to all these heartbreaks and these men that did you wrong and these divorces and these breakups, right? And these, you know, these just holding on to everything that everybody has done to you, all of these trauma that you've been through and you haven't processed through it and release it, please know that these things create physical stagnation in the body as well. They create physical stagnation in the body. So that's something you want to understand and know. So this is why, you know, as you're, like I said earlier, as you're physically healing from fibroids, as you're physically making changes, you also have to address the emotional stagnation, the suppression, the emotions that you have suppressed. You have to start addressing that as well. You got to start addressing that as well. You cannot hang on to the same lifestyle, the same habits, and continue to suppress your emotions, right? Or not deal with the things that that you're still holding on to and think that your body's going to heal, because it's not. You got to do the work. But guess what? You become a higher version of yourself. And when you don't have all of this stagnation, right? Because fibroids if you have fibroids, there's a lot of stagnation going on in your body, in your life, right? So we have to release that. And as we're healing, things are able to flow better and, you know, flow in better physically. They're also in your body. Things are flowing better. You're not, you know, you're actually being able to, as you're healing as well, your body's able to absorb the nutrients that you're actually getting. So you're not dealing with iron deficiency and anemia, and you're not dealing with, you know, a low vitamin D. These things, because your body is not, you can take all the supplements you want to, your body's not going to absorb them. Your body's not going to absorb them when you're dealing with, when you have fibroids, because guess what? Your liver and your kidneys have got to be healthy to activate these nutrients, right? And your digestive system has to be able to, like I said, absorb this stuff, right? So another thing too is, you know, if you believe that, you know, womb healing is temporary, this work is temporary, or it's just about getting rid of fibroids, right? Or that your body is broken, right? You have to watch out for your thoughts as well. Because a lot of women think that their wombs is broken, their wombs can't heal. And I understand when you've been dealing with fibroids for a long time, it can really affect your spirit. It can really impact you when you've been dealing with horrible periods for years. Trust me, I know. I dealt with horrible cycles and just horrible symptoms for years. And it's hard for you to see the light at the end of the tunnel when that is your reality. But trust me, I don't just know this for myself, I know this for my clients as well. When you do the work, it works. But you have to get out of the mindset of just wanting quick fixes. You got to get out of that. The women that watch me, majority of the time, they're at least in their 30s, 40s, 50s, maybe even older. Maybe sometimes some of them are in their late 20s, but we got to grow up and we have to get out of just looking for a quick fix. And we have to know what's a quick fix and what's not a quick fix. We have to start being intelligent enough to know. If somebody says that you can get rid of fibroids by, you know, taking this pill or taking this tea, we got to understand that's if you know that fibroids, the root causes of fibroids, and you know that your hormones are out of balance when you have fibroids, and that your detoxification channels are blocked up, the lymphatic system is, your body's in a state of stress, the nervous system is dysregulated, you know all of these things, you know that you cannot get healing in a pill. It is a total lifestyle change, and we have to stop seeking these quick fixes. We got to evolve our thinking. We got to evolve and have better standards for our womb, okay? That's really important. So you cannot stay in survival mode. You cannot stay in a state of high stress. You cannot stay in a state of overthinking and operating from fear and anxiety and think that your body's going to heal, because I'm telling you, it's not. It is not, okay? These things will keep your body further into dysfunction, right? This is why I say it's important you got to do the work. And the work is not just physical. It's not just, oh, what I eat. It's deeper than that. And stop thinking surface level when it comes to your health, because you're not surface level. Your health goes a lot more deeper than that, okay? So for women that are, on their journeys to get rid of fibroids, and maybe there's some confusion there, they're not seeing results, or if you don't even know where to start, and you want to know what is your root causes, why are you dealing with fibroids, and you want to know what are the next steps to take. I do have a womb activation call for women that are confused on this journey, that want to get on a one-on-one call with me. I don't usually do this. To work with me one-on-one does cost thousands. I'm gonna be honest with you. However, I do have a womb activation call. I put out just 7 spots for $197 for women that want to get on. It's a 45-minute call. We map out your personalized root causes, why your healing attempts of fibroids are not working, and how to shift that. Okay, so that's really, really important. So we have that open now. If you want more information about that, the link is in my bio. You do have to fill out a questionnaire, but that's, pick your time and day. If you don't see a time and day that works for you, send me an email and we'll arrange something. Okay, but book your call. We have 7 slots left. This is for women that want to get one-on-one time with me, right? In order to map out their personalized root causes, why their fibroids have developed, and it's really important for you guys to understand and know this. And for some, what I'm seeing is that one person may struggle with fibroids, even though fibroids have the same root causes, but for one person, one factor of that may be their main issue, and for another person, it may be another issue. It may be more of the emotional aspect with one person. It may be more of the lifestyle aspect with another person, right? So I wanted to do this again, these womb activation calls for you guys to get deeper insights and know how to, where to go next, right? So that's available. Again, link is in my bio if you want to book one. We have 7 slots left. If you're watching from YouTube, the link is in my description box, okay? So does anybody have any questions? I wanted this to be... Here's the thing, I wanted you guys to understand and know. I know that when your fibroids grow back, it can be very scary. It can be very confusing. I was there too after having surgery. And after that, that's when I went on my journey. That's when I did years of research and I understood why fibroids developed. Okay, so I've been doing researching and reading about over 10 years now, over a decade now. So, and I've helped, like I said earlier, hundreds of women become fibroid free, get rid of endometriosis, adenomyosis, PCOS, every uterine prolapse, every womb condition that you can imagine. Okay. Also hormonal issues as well. Perimenopause, women that thought they were in menopause, right? In their late 40s, headed to 50, have gotten their periods back naturally working with me, right? So it's important. It's important. It's important. Can you heal after having hysterectomy? Absolutely. Yes, you can. You can. But here's the thing. Even though I don't recommend hysterectomy, here's what I'm going to say. If you have a hysterectomy, yes, you can still get your body in balance, but you got to do the work. You have to understand that having a hysterectomy, a lot of women have hysterectomies and they think that oh, I'm in the clear because I'm not dealing with fibroids. You're not dealing with tumors in your uterus, but guess what? Tumors can grow other places as well. This is why this work is so important, because guess what? Tumors don't just grow in the uterus, and you guys know that. So this is why a lot of women that have fibroids also have issues with the breasts, okay? Because guess what? Guess what has the same root causes? Fibroids and breast cancer, or fibroids and uterine cancer, or fibroids and endometrial cancer, or these stem from estrogen dominance. So you have to, so I would recommend, if you've already had a hysterectomy, get your hormones in balance, address the root cause of the fibroids or whatever you had, whether you had endo, get to the root cause, heal your body, right? And because you don't have a uterus, you got to do extra work. But that's okay. It still can be done, okay? It still can be done, all right? It's really important. So for women that want to work with me, we have our womb activation call open, but I also have my 6-week womb healing experience open for women that needs deeper support that actually want to work with me, okay? So if you want more information about that, the link is in my bio. If you're watching from TikTok, the link is in my description box. If you're watching from YouTube, okay? For women that need a deeper support, I want to work with me over the course of 6 weeks, right? The 6-week womb healing experience is very powerful. If you've been following me for any length of time, you've seen the amount of testimonials. I've had women shrink huge fibroid bellies within a month, get rid of drastically shrink large fibroids within 6 weeks. Get rid of the smaller fibroids within 6 weeks. Reverse all of their PCOS symptoms. Get rid of all of their fibroid symptoms, right? Dissolve cysts within 6 weeks. So it's very powerful work, the womb healing experience. If you are interested, again, check it out. See if it's for you. All right. So I want to say this: understand and know that when your fibroids grow back, all is not lost. I know that a lot of women feel very lost. They feel defeated after their fibroids have grown back, or if their fibroids are not shrinking, they feel defeated. I get it, but you have to, like I said, you have to do the foundational work. Stop looking for quick fixes. That's important. You gotta go deep. Why did your body develop the fibroids? One thing you could do is go back. I always say this in almost a lot of my lives, right? And if you're watching from TikTok, let's say you're new, we have hundreds of live streams on YouTube. So feel free to watch the videos. Again, get on our email list so you can get deeper insights about fibroids. Subscribe to our Sacred Womb Letters, okay? If you're watching from YouTube, also subscribe to our Sacred Womb Letters as well. It's free, okay? We do have a paid version monthly, but you can also subscribe to the free version as well, okay? So it's important to understand that you got to do the foundational work. And if you don't understand what that is, if you don't understand the root causes of fibroids, again, join the email list. It will break it down for you over the course of 7 days. It will break it down for you, okay? If you have fibroids, again, your lymphatic system is backed up. The digestive system is backed up. Your body's not absorbing nutrients. So this is why your iron is low. You have low vitamin D. You're low in lots of minerals when you're dealing with fibroids, right? Your body is, when you have lots of waste in the body, when your body's clogged up, it cannot absorb minerals. It cannot absorb what your body actually needs. This is why you taking all these supplements are a waste of your time. You're not really seeing substantial results with that, okay? So I want women to understand that. Now, so that's pretty much it. I'm going to get off of here soon. Be sure, thank you for sharing the live. Be sure to, if you're watching from YouTube, share this live. And I want you guys also to, if you're watching from TikTok, subscribe to the YouTube channel. The link is in my bio. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. If you're watching from YouTube, share this live with at least 3-4 women you know that have fibroids. A lot of women out there have fibroids, are lost. They don't know what step to take next. They don't understand the full scope of what's going on with their bodies. And I always say this: if I was around when somebody like me was around when I had fibroids, oh my God, that would have been such a huge blessing. But unfortunately, the internet it was there. Social media wasn't as big. So I didn't know that there was actually women out there helping women heal from fibroids. If I would have had somebody like me, that would have been such a huge relief. Oh my goodness, you guys don't know how lucky you are, okay? I'm glad you mentioned that eating healthy is not enough. Absolutely, for restricting fibroids. Yeah, Crystal, it's not. It goes way deeper than just eating healthy and exercising. You also have to look at your mental health as well. Absolutely. Emotional healing, really, it's a thing. I help my clients through the process of it's not just physical, and people think that exercise has a lot to do with getting rid of fibroids. It really doesn't. Please exercise. You should exercise. You should get movement in. Okay, of course it's great for your hormones, but it's not going to get rid of a 10-centimeter fibroid. Okay, because I hear women tell me, I exercise, I don't understand why I have fibroids. Listen, it's not going to get rid of fibroids, but it's important for you to exercise and do some form of movement. Absolutely, your lymphatic system, absolutely. So it's way deeper than just what you eat. A lot of women stay there. Oh, I got rid of meat. Okay, that's not enough, right? That's not a womb healing. Like, that's not, there's a difference between what society would coin as a healthy diet and a womb healing diet. There's a difference, okay? There's a difference, okay? So, but that's pretty much it. Again, get on my YouTube channel. If you're watching from TikTok, subscribe to my YouTube channel. If you're watching, and once you guys get on the YouTube channel, share this live with women that you know that's dealing with fibroids. Because a lot of women need relief, they need help, okay? And book your womb activation call. If you need help, if you know that, listen, I'm stuck, I have these fibroids, I don't know what to do next. I've been trying to get rid of fibroids, I'm trying to heal them, I'm not seeing any momentum or any results. Let's get on the call together so I can help you navigate this process, okay? We have 7 slots, that's it. And once the 7 is gone, that's it, okay? Then you gotta join the program to work with me, all right? So that's all, that's it. You guys have a lovely rest of your night, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye, ladies. Bye, TikTok.